Well, first of all, for this dish, we are going to use some shrimp. Then we are going to need some tortillas of maize, then some cheese or mozzarella, then some tomato and onion, and a little bit of oil. Well, the first step that we are going to do for this dish, we are going to need to cut the onion. First, we have to cut the end of the onion and start cutting the onion in very small square pieces. For some context, for this dish, this is tacos of gobernador, the dish that I'm trying to make here. Well, this recipe of tacos gobernador is actually from my grandmother. She has lived all her life from Culiacan, so this is a kind of traditional food or dish from Culiacan. And I had to ask her for all the ingredients and all the steps, even though I'm not a very good cook. As you can see here, I'm kind of struggling, but it is actually a very easy dish to make. So even though you are not very good at cooking, it is it is a very fast process and very easy to make. Well, once you're done cutting your onion, it should look like kind of like this. Then the next step for this dish is starting to cut the tomato. First, you have to cut in half the tomato, then again, so you are left with 4 quarters of the tomato. Then it is very important that when you're done with this step, you need to cut, as you can see, this part of the tomato. My grandmother, as I have seen, she always tells me to cut this part, so it's a very taste. And then you need to cut off all the seeds and the center of the tomato, so you're left basically with the skin of the tomato. And you need to repeat this process with all the 3 other parts of the tomato. When when you're done cutting the skin of the tomato, it should look like this. Then when we are done with all the starting point of the ingredients, we are going to put a little bit of oil. Well, this time I put a lot, but remember, I'm not a very good cook. Then you need to put all of the onion in the pan and starting to fry the onion for around from 2 to 3 minutes. When you're done with this step, you're going to put the little parts of the tomato, in the pan for for around 1 to 2 minutes maximum. You are going to mix the tomato with the onion, and then when you're done with this part, let it fry, and then put all of the shrimp. When you are done with this step, you're going to mix all the shrimp with the tomato and the onion and let it rest for 3 to 4 minutes. While you are where you're letting rest the tomato and the onion and the shrimp, you're going to start to make the quesadilla. So I put a little bit of oil, a personal preference. Then you put the tortilla and the tortilla and a little bit of cheese, of mozzarella. Then you're going to flip the quesadilla, so as you can see, the cheese is going to be very fried. You can do this as your personal preference. Once you're done with this step, you are going to put in your plate the quesadilla, and then starting to put a little bit of the prepared shrimp. So you're basically done with your dish. I like a little of spice in my food, so I'm going to put a little bit of salsa habanero, and we are done basically. and as you can see, it is very good and very delicious.